Okay, Edmond here again from DevLess. So it's really raining outside, and I wish I could sleep, but someone hit me up on Slack asking a very important question, and the question is around, uh, if you follow the subsequent tutorials and videos, you would notice that yes, we've walked through ways to get your data right into DevLess, but then in between getting your data from the form to DevLess. What if you want to change some values, or you want to edit, or you want to do something based on the value coming in? Well, I decided to do this video to cover just that. So to do this, I'll go ahead and then create a service labeled users. And if you don't know what a service is really a feature part of your entire application. So I'll go ahead and then add a table upon creating my service. I'll label my table. What do we name this? Let's do profile. And then we'll go ahead and then add fields to our table. Say name. We leave it as text. Let's add one more age. Then age should be an integer. And this once I select this field type, DevLess will apply validation accordingly. So I don't have to necessarily write extra code to do that. So I'll go ahead and do the same for the email. And the next will be something to hold timestamps. So that'd be stamp. And timestamp, let's make that an integer and then go ahead and create our table. Good. So now that we have our service and table created, the next thing is to link this up into our front end. So I'll go ahead and paste this here. Okay, and then now we create a form to take in our details. Good, so I'll add an input field, type text, and come on. And here we go name, and then we add a placeholder, enter name here. Pardon me, I can't use the keyboard on my laptop because if I do, it's going to have this clicking sound. So I'm using an external keyboard and it's hell. Okay, so I'll go ahead and edit this to age. Make this age as well. Good. And then I'll go ahead and duplicate the same field. And what's the next one? I think email. And let's make the type email. I really hate external keyboards. I'll go ahead and then make this number as well. Come back here. Come on, man. And then edit this to enter email. Come on. Okay. And one last field should be stamp, I think. Yeah, stamp. Stamp, that should be hidden. I don't want the user entering the timestamp here. And then the field name should be stamp. So now the names of these form fields should correspond to the fields you created when you were creating the table. And then here should be, and I don't need a placeholder because this field is not showing anyways. So take this one out and go ahead and add a button. There. So it's gonna be type submit. And there we go. Submit. Okay. Finally. So let's go ahead and then shoot this thing right here. Let me go ahead and then add a notifier. So this would tell me exactly what's happening from the backend, right? And then now that we have a notifier, let's try and display the data that we input in the backend. So here I'll create a simple span, add a class. Let's do this first. Let's be systematic. So I'll go ahead and be like dv get all users profile. Good. And with this, I'll print out the name. Come on. The age, the email, and then the timestamp. Okay. Age, email, and then our stamp, right? Great. So I'll go ahead and then save this. Let's preview this from our browser. Cool. It's not as elegant, but it's good enough. So I'll go ahead and enter here, and then known as DevLess, and let's save this. Something is not right. Slide back here. Our form doesn't have a directive, of course, so the form doesn't know what, the DevLess doesn't know what to do with this form, so we need to tell it what to do. So it's like dv add 1, 2, and then like go right into the user service, go into the user service, and then right into the profile table there. So now DevLess should be able to know what to do with the form. Let me go ahead and take this out real quick. All right, HTML. Okay, so now I'll try this again. Admins, age 90, that old. Edmond, good. Then submit this. Once it hits the database, I get the confirmation, and then now I see my detail, the detail up here. Good. So now, what we are trying to achieve here is, so how do I edit, say, my name? Let's say I want to capitalize the name. How do I capitalize my name before it goes into the database? Because as you can see from here, the form is binded directly to the database somehow. DevLess does its magic, and it's bound to the database directly. But right before it hits the database, we are allowed to run a couple of rules against our data before it finally hits the database. As a matter of fact, we can do something before it hits the database, before and after. That's what the on section does, and then the after query allows us to run some actions after the action has been performed. On any request, literally performs whatever action I append to it on any request. But now, for us, what we want to do is be able to do something like convert to uppercase. Well, what do I want to convert to uppercase? That's the incoming field, so I just have to prefix it with input, and then I pick the field name, and this is going to be capitalized. So once it's capitalized, I need to tell it where to store this value as. So I'm like store it as, and then I'm going to store it back as input name. So really I can store it into another input field, if that's what I want. But in this case I want to save it back into the name. So I'll quickly rush back here, and then let's try it again. Let's try Ricky. Ricky, who is 45. And we go ricky@gmail.com. Cool. So I expect the name to be capitalized. If it's not capitalized, I'll be very sad, of course, yeah. So here I have my name capitalized. But what if we even want to reverse the name? Let's see what happens here. So reverse string, right? So reverse string, well, I would have had to provide the input name, blah, blah, blah here, but I don't have to do that. So if I use the input string without a parameter, it infers that I'm trying to reverse the previous input or the previous value I had. So it's going to automatically reverse that string, still store it as input, and then finally it goes to hit the database. So I'll go ahead and then try. Should I try a name that's a palindrome? I can't think of one right now. Lily? Okay, if we try palindrome, we wouldn't be able to know when the value flips. So let's just try a normal name. So that would be Lily@Gmail. Gmail is easier. Just go with Gmail. So refresh this, and I should have, wow, of course. So it's capitalized and then reversed. Good. So question will be, how do I know all the possible string functions I can pass? That will be a good question, because then I wouldn't be able to walk through all the possible methods that you can call in this tutorial. So to get the list of all methods, all you have to do is pass the help method, save this, and then to preview this, you use the API console. So go ahead to the API console. Really, the API console is just a way for you to play with your data instead of creating a front end. When you don't have to really create a front end to be able to play with your data. So here I'm going to simulate adding data using the API console, and then here you see it gives me the values that I can pre-populate, but I don't need to do that now. And voila, here you see all the methods that I can use. So for example, let me go ahead and search the convert to uppercase. So here it's the convert to uppercase. Okay, so it's in here. Okay, I've used it in the documentation itself multiple times, but then you can find all the possible methods you can run. So allow external access, which I'll be working through in previous tutorial. Even explains what these actions are for and what you can use them for. So if you scroll way down, you see get current day, get current hour. These are functions you can run. Even generate random string. These are functions you can run against your data. So you can get the list of all callable methods that you can use as you build your app by adding the help function, prepending it to the before creating or whichever method, and then just run it, and then you get the list of it. Or you could just go straight to the documentation, the DevLess documentation, and then check that out. So now, yeah, we've been able to capitalize the string. Let's walk through a couple of math functions. Let's do something with the age. So let's say I want to increase the age of everyone by 1. So I could just call the calculate function. Calculate. I really hate this keyboard right now. Input age and then add 1 to it. Of course, I would have to store this value as input age, and then finally, I think that's it. Yeah. And then now when I come back here for every new user, let's say Fifi, Fifi age 56. Do I have some? Oh yeah, age 56. And what's the name? Fifi at Gmail. Good. I have Fifi here. So I expect Fifi to be 57, although I've entered 56 for his age. So I'll go ahead and refresh this, and voila, I have 57 for Fifi. So in addition to this, actually I could rewrite this. I could rewrite calculate. There are multiple ways I can do the addition. Calculate kind of allows me to write my own. I could express myself more mathematically, but where I want to be more fluent and make my rules look much more humane, I could use the sum up method. So the sum up allows me to sum up the age, sum the age plus 1. I could add 2 to it, add 3, and then go ahead and save this. So the age will be added to 1, to 2, to 3, and stored back as age. So I'll go ahead and then run this. Let's go Josh, and then let's do age 34, and then Josh at Gmail. Go ahead and save this, refresh, and although I entered at 36, I'm at 40 right now. So and there are a whole bunch of mathematical functions in there that you can use, but this is just a highlight just to show you how you can do this. And I really don't have to clean this. I could prepend more scripts to this, and the more I add stuff, for example, let's add a timestamp here. So I could go like it's timestamp, right? And then I want to store this timestamp as input stamp. So now I'm adding the timestamp. So this is the Unix timestamp. So now this is going to be stored into stamp, and then finally it hits the database. So let's go ahead and add one more user. Let's do Evelyn. Oh, I can't spell Evelyn, so let's just do Mike. mic should be, no, we've done 90, let's do 67, and then it's mic Gmail. Good. And then I go ahead and refresh this, and then now mic is at 73, and I have my timestamp here. Great. When you look at the script here, let's try reading it. It's like, before creating sum up input age 1, 2, 3, store as that, gets timestamp. Yeah, it's instructional and it looks more humane, but you can add what we call fillers to make this thing sound much more humane. So fillers do not add anything semantically or do not affect it, but it best makes your script more reader friendly. So I could go like, firstly, sum up all this. Then I could drop in the keyword, the filler word, then I store this. Then I could go secondly, get this timestamp. Wait, man, this keyboard issues is really bad. I need to get a new keyboard setup. So firstly, do that, then store, then secondly, then finally, lastly, there's no finally, and then lastly, store as that. So this makes it more readable. So like, for example, a developer can sit with a business person and walk through their business rules and be like, this is what I have for based on your requirements and all of what you've said, what do you think? And the business person should be able to read and then understand this. So yeah, this is the same as what we had earlier, and it should work as long as there are no syntax errors in there. So let's try Edmond, and I promise this is the last entry I'm making. Edmond 89, and then edmond@gmail.com. I think I have DevLess already. So this is gmail.com. It's not like the emails are unique, are set to unique anyway. Although you can set, as you create your tables, you can make the fields unique so that you don't have repetitions. But in our case, we didn't do that. Okay, so now Edmond 95, we still have our timestamp. The years have been bumped. Cool. So basically that's it. If I know this is a short tutorial and couldn't go through all the methods that are possible here, but I'm telling you there are a whole bunch of methods you can call in here just to change the flow, edit what you want to do, make your data much more presentable or whatever. Depending on what you want, you could write a whole bunch of rules to do that. I know we weren't able to walk through all this, but check out docs. You'd find all of the possible callable methods, and we keep on adding new ones which you can use. Hopefully this tutorial has been useful. It just rained and I think I need to go to bed now. Thank you for watching.